So, one of the things that talk therapy is usually known for is the idea of processing negative emotion. And I've come across some people that really question and try to understand what it means to be able to process negative emotion. What does that do for them? How it works for your mental health, how it works for your psyche, things like that. And doing this for a long time, this is kind of how I look at what it means to process negative emotions in talk therapy. So, in talk therapy, when you're processing a lot of negative emotion, the thing about it is a lot of those negative emotions come from situations that you don't feel like you're in control. So a lot of times when things that are bad that happen to us, usually they're in situations where we just don't have any control, where we're not in a position where we feel very powerful about it. We feel a sense of powerlessness. And because of that sense and feeling of powerlessness and lack of control, we tend to have a lot of anxiety and or depression depending on how we view those situations. So in my view, the anxiety and depression and PTSD symptoms and things like that, they come from a lack of control because things happened to them that was out of their control. Sorry, I know I'm beating a dead horse, but I want people to understand that that's an important part of the talk therapy process. So what processing emotion does is through talking, and then as your emotions come up through talking, you end up getting to a point where you feel a sense of control over a situation that you had no control of. Because more than likely, the negative emotions from the traumatic event or from those situations were repressed. So they're usually buried. It's a defense mechanism that most of us use in order to be in survival mode or in order to be able to continue to live our lives, right? So when it comes to processing those negative emotions, you get this sense of control, and that's one of the things that's helpful. Obviously, in talk therapy, processing emotions means that the emotions that have been repressed, they come out because they have to go somewhere, right? So if they're buried down, they stay inside of you, and that can do a lot of damage when it comes to repressed emotions because people will talk about, I'll have nightmares or I'll have certain dreams, and that's your subconscious trying to work through all of the negative emotions that you've experienced that you're repressing intentionally. So along with being vulnerable, along with just allowing yourself to talk about some of the things that are, that you would consider, negative emotions and things like that, again, it gives you a sense of control. And when you feel a sense of control, the event and the thing that caused the negative emotions no longer have the same power over you and your mind. So I hope you can understand how that works and see how by talking about your feelings and your emotions, you get to a point where you understand yourself better, you're able to allow your emotions to go somewhere, you are then able to understand yourself in a way that you wouldn't have before. So a lot of that is insight driven as well. And so when you're talking about traumatic events, you're also gathering the insight that you didn't have about yourself before. And because you're in a different situation now, more than likely you would be able to feel more empowered about your life. And so that's the idea behind talk therapy. I know it's not the most exciting thing, but I hope you understand that that's what it's kind of designed to do, at least from my perspective as a therapist and in working with the clients that I've worked with. People have talked about how they felt a sense of control, and it's just when they get the emotion out, then they don't have to repress it, they don't have to stuff it, and then pretend like it's not there. So anyways, let me know if you guys have any thoughts about that. I appreciate it.